bicycle, bicycle. You're just here, and I know you like ride bicycles, so I just think of like that song. Like, could you like power eBPF on your bicycle? I don't think you. Well, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe it was connected to a server, right? Maybe, but
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm just trying to think how many watts I can do and whether that's enough to power a laptop. I could probably power a laptop, yeah.
So Liz Rice, the famous Liz Rice, here talking about the company she's with, Isovalent. And Isovalent, tell us about Isovalent a little bit.
So Isovalent is the company that originally created the Cilium project. Cilium is pretty well known as a CNI, a networking plugin for Kubernetes. We're very focused on eBPF. We have people who are kernel developers and work on eBPF in the kernel as part of Isovalent. So we've got this amazing expertise that we can leverage in Cilium, and then our enterprise distributions of Cilium as well.
Excellent. So you're going to show us a demo. What are we going to see?
Yeah, so I'm basically showing a demo of what I talked about in my keynote here at CloudNative SecurityCon, where eBPF allows us to collect all this really detailed information, but sometimes you want to see something in a more visual form to make it make sense and to solve real life problems. Right. For example, I can show flow logs of all the traffic that's flowing in my talk was sort of Star Wars themed. So I've got, here's all the traffic that's flowing between, like, there's a TIE fighter here and Death Star and what have you. And you can see Kubernetes identities flowing. I mean, it's going past quite quickly, but we've got, you know, we can see traffic's flowing between Kubernetes identities pods. So we're not looking at the IP addresses. It's meaningful. But, you know, it's going past really quickly and it's quite hard to visualize what's happening. And in particular, what I want to show is the idea of a security dashboard that we can build using logs and metrics that are generated by Cilium. So in addition to these logs, Cilium also generates Prometheus metrics, and we can use those to populate Grafana dashboards. And as a kind of example of the kind of thing we can do with that information, we can look at network policy enforcements or decisions. So this is the security dashboard for the stormtroopers who operate security network policy on the Death Star.
Wow.
And at the moment, we're not seeing any data generated by ingress policy verdicts, but because we don't have any ingress network policy applied. So I'm going to, first of all, set up or apply an allow all policy that is going to allow all traffic in the Endor, around the Endor planet.
Okay.
So now we should start seeing in this dashboard, it may take a little while to populate, but we'll start seeing decision points, like every network packet is now being evaluated to see whether it matches a policy. And at the moment, all packets should match because I've said we're going to allow all packets. Right. We're going to allow everything. So, okay, we're starting to see traffic.
So that's the traffic we're seeing. Yeah. What's the difference between the yellow and the green?
So on the left-hand side here with the yellow, it's showing what decision has been made with the packet. So they're either being dropped, forwarded, or redirected. It would be dropped if it was outside of policy. At the moment, everything is going to be permitted, so everything should get forwarded. And as time goes by, we'll see more packets being forwarded. On the right-hand side, we can see the type of policy that it's matching on. At the moment, I've got this all policy. It's going to match on all, so that's the kind of green. And they should be the same shape on both sides. Now, to be an effective network policy, I don't want to actually allow all traffic. I want to say, you know, I'm on the Death Star. I only want traffic from Empire spacecraft.
Right.
So what I can do is apply a policy, and then I want to see that the same kind of traffic is getting through, but that it's being matched on a specific policy rather than this match on all policy. So I think we've more or less, it looks like it's going down a bit, but I probably should be reaching a roughly steady state of traffic
From the
between-
source that you want it to come from.
Yeah, between our TIE fighters and the Death Star and
Yeah.
whatever else they're communicating. I think there we go. So we're roughly sort of 100-ish packets.
What is this akin to then, like, for that network engineer? Is this really for the network engineer?
Yeah, so the idea here is that network policy can be quite fiddly to apply and fiddly to see whether you've got it right. And we can use this sort of visual aid to see, well, have I got my policy right? So I'm now going to apply a stricter policy, and we should see that as this policy kind of kicks in and traffic starts being evaluated by that policy, on the left-hand side we should see the same traffic, the same amount of traffic being forwarded, but it should be matching on a more specific policy. And so we should see the green area disappearing, because that's all an all policy, and we should see it's matching on a layer 3 only policy type. And once everything settles down, we should be back to all traffic that's legitimate being passed through that policy.
Okay, so the network engineer, what are they facing on a daily basis where this would be applicable to what you're showing here?
Yeah, so I think network policies can be really quite fiddly to get right. There's lots of, it's YAML for a start.
Yeah, right.
And you need to identify different pods, different services probably by label, by a different type of endpoint. Do you want traffic to flow within a namespace or perhaps from different namespaces? There's lots of variables that you can potentially get wrong. And the idea here is that using a visual tool, you can understand whether or not your traffic is being accepted or rejected by the right kind of policy. So now that a bit of time has passed, we can see that the same level of traffic is being forwarded, but now it's being matched on a policy that's much more specific to the Death Star.
And you want that?
That's exactly what you want, yeah.
You want that policy to be as specific as possible?
Yes, yes. And we can also see in this part of the dashboard underneath a bit more detail. It's like a sort of instant look at, over the last amount of time, what policy verdicts have been seen, and we can see all of our ingress verdicts now have been matched on a layer 3 only policy, and that's what this yellow area here represents. If we were to have traffic that was flowing that was outside of this policy, we'd potentially see some drop packets. So hopefully if I apply some traffic from a different star system, hopefully this will create, a few other spacecraft, and they're going to start sending some traffic which is outside of this policy. And given a little bit of time for it to start picking up, we should start seeing...
So we'll start to see that in a different way. How will we see it?
So
it'll come up, I guess.
Yeah, we're starting to see already some egress packets that have been forwarded, because I haven't got any egress specific policy. I hope we're going to find some block packets as well.
It's
it
changing.
Looks like some ingress is being matched on another. I have a feeling I might have applied the wrong ingress policy. But I think I've applied a policy that matches on traffic from Hoth as well. So slightly, but you can still see, I think, the idea that you can see whether the policy matches kind of your expectations.
That's really what it's about.
And if I see this green area, I can say, well, this is matching on an all policy. I probably want to understand what that traffic is and figure out what a more specific policy would be, so that all the traffic is...
Because that could be some pesky, like Luke Skywalker type of character.
Exactly, yeah.
He's so pesky.
Those pesky rebels.
Those pesky rebels.
Yeah.
Well, Liz, thank you very much for that demo. I have a sense now of all those stormtroopers running around the Death Star. They're actually DevOps people and network engineers.
Absolutely, yeah. The Empire has been using Kubernetes for a long, long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, the rebels, what are they using?
Well, I don't know. I think they're also using Cilium.
We'll have to they probably are, We can look at them another time. Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on all the major social media platforms. You can always find us at thenewstack.io. We hope to see you soon.